another encounter builder video. I've got the window open right now. I might close it if it gets a bit too loud. I apologise if the dogs bark as well. I'm going to have to try and do my best to make sure that they don't and they're sent out if they do, but kids are going to be coming back from school right now, so I've got to, I need the window open, it's so hot, but also they're going to be coming back, so I'm going to put some bump gum in. And of course, if you're familiar with this, what we're doing is doing a random number generator to get a random page in the monster manual, or 2 pages in this case, and we're going to make an encounter from it. So, let's get the first number. First number is 63. Okay, 63. Okay, 63 is an interesting one. It is a bulette. There we go. Sometimes considered to be a land shark. In fact, that's what it says here, ravenous subsurface land sharks. Also called land sharks, bullets are single-minded predators that burrow under, leap over and burst through obstacles in pursuit of their quarry. They burrow rapidly just below ground. On sensing movement, they erupt from below, attempting to catch prey in their oversized maws. Feels like that should say oversized. Bulette. Or bulette. I call it bulette because I'm pretty sure it's French. I could be wrong though. Alright, that's number 1. The next one we've got is gonna be 219, which takes us. Oh, I literally just had the page and I closed it. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna close that window because these kids are just screaming. Well, they're not screaming, they're shouting enough that's loud. Alright, the next one is a mummy. Another good kind. A dead mummy. I feel like you can probably assume what they are. Mysterious rites and mighty faith can tie spirits to their corpses, binding them to their remains for all time. Should their resting places be violated, these beings known as mummies reanimate their deteriorating bodies to restore the sanctity of their tombs and punish those who would disturb their rest. Mummies pursue those who offend them, typically mortals who desecrate their resting places, steal their burial treasures, or defile sites tied to their faith. With undying rage, these ancient corpses go to extreme lengths to avenge themselves and restore what they need to find peace. A mummy might look frail, but its body possesses a supernatural strength, and its gaze can strike fear into the bravest hearts. Those who escape a mummy's grasp, might find themselves subject to a terrible curse. Victims of a mummy's curse gradually wither, their bodies rotting away until they're reduced to dust. This curse can be healed only by the remove curse spell or similar magic. And then we've just got the common mummy here, which is common mummies are the remains of priests, nobles, or champions of faith that underwent magical burial rites. Interesting. Well, there we go. So we've got bulette and mummies. We're going to put the timer on 4 minutes for the timer, and we'll give it a go. Alrighty. Oh, So, the encounter I've created is as it's kind of like set within the concept of an existing quest. This is like a fight that takes place likely at the end of a quest, I would imagine. This quest being the player characters, essentially going tomb raiding. Basically, they're in an old dwarven temple. Maybe it's a cult. That would be pretty cool. Maybe it's just a temple of some kind. That doesn't matter too much for the context of this encounter. But the encounter can be like added in, change a few details, and you're good. But this is what I've come up with. So, dwarven priest was buried here in this final, like, Jesus Christ, in this one, like, entombing, this sort of tomb room. The player characters have arrived here. They maybe gone through some other stuff, but right now they've arrived at the main tomb, and they're at them to see the dwarven vault. Sorry, the dwarven priest sarcophagus. Either side of the dwarven priest are two clay statues of bullets, and they flank the sarcophagus, kind of like bearing down on anyone that would come forward towards it, slightly ahead of it. When the player characters get too close to the sarcophagus, or maybe when they touch it, the specifics not really settled on there, but when they sort of interact with the space, the clay statues begin to crack and break, revealing two undead versions of bullets underneath. So I would change them, their creature type, to just be undead. So I'm doing a little thing here, like taking the stat block and adapting it to the circumstance, right? That's not what the monster manual one is, but we can add that on there. Maybe we'll add some necrotic damage, or like twist it in a different way. But they're like undead versions of bullets. For a bit of context, these bullets in life were loyal, kind of like loyal dogs, like pet dogs or guard dogs to the priest. And when the priest died, however that came about, they were entombed alongside them to watch over them in death. So they're dead as well. They're undead, but the clay has preserved their bodies very well, so they're kind of slightly desiccated, but their forms don't really dry the way the skin does, so they're obviously dead and rotting, but they are mostly well preserved, kind of like a mummy. They are going to be the first things that animate, that immediately attack the characters. As they break out and attack, that's when the mummy will then eventually kind of pull the sarcophagus aside and make their presence known. But really, the mummy is actually less threatening than the bullets are, so the focus of the fight is the bullets protecting the mummy. Maybe the mummy has something that the players need, or whatever it might be, who knows. Whatever the case, they're going to protect the mummy fiercely. And I've also written here what would be interesting, because what tends to happen in situations like this is that there are players, oftentimes I've found anyway, running a lot of games, I often find this, if you put a bunch of mobs in a fight with the boss, they will ignore the mobs and go for the boss and be like, if we take down the leader, the others will probably fall away, and that's often relatively true. So I've added a twist in here, well, not a twist necessarily, but a consequence. So if the mummy dies before one or both of the bullets, both of them fly into an absolute rage, which is just going to grant them advantage on all of their attack rolls, irregardless. So they are just going to basically get flung into a rage, which means actually it's more beneficial to take them down before you take down the mummy, because otherwise the fight is going to be even harder. So yeah, that's kind of what I've come up with here. An interesting encounter, a fun one, I would say, and one that you can steal and use in your own campaign. I really like the encounters that inspire mini quests or side events like this, because this is a sort of thing that I would go, maybe that could be an entire, like, if not a one shot, then a small campaign maybe, or a side quest in a longer game. But yeah, that's something to consider. Well, that's the encounter. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure to drop a like, consider subscribing. I don't know what I was gonna say, put a mummy emoji in the comments, but now I'm just gonna get a bunch of like pregnant women, like the emoji of like the pregnant woman. But I don't know. Maybe that's a good one. Maybe we should just do that. That would be funny. I'm gonna totally forget that I asked for that, and then wonder why am I getting a bunch of like pregnant women emojis on this? What are they trying to say about me? But yes, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, night, whatever time it is for you guys. Check out the videos appearing on the side of the screen, and I will see you in the next one.